All right, just really quick. This shouldn't take too long. We're going to get through all the 6.1 notes here. We can start with the standard form for a polynomial function of a degree, all right, of n in this case. And the whole goal is just to make sure the largest exponent goes in front. So if this was a 12, 12 minus 1 would be 11, and they drop. And we covered this in class already. And everything in front is just a coefficient. So if you ever want to talk about a leading coefficient, whatever's in front of the polynomial, when written in its highest form, is a leading coefficient. So each term within a polynomial is called a monomial. So if I took this term, that would be a monomial. And let me just write an example too. If I had 2x cubed plus 3x plus 4, that would be a monomial, that would be a monomial, and that would be a monomial. All right, so in this situation, we have, well, we have a total of, what, 3 monomials to make up this trinomial. All right, so a monomial is the product of a number and one or more variables with whole number exponents. So I'm going to give you an example. I could have a number, and I could have a variable like x, and that x can be raised to, if my pencil stops breaking, which I'm not sure it's going to, a power, we'll say second power, and I could have a y raised to the third power. That would be a monomial. There's no plus signs, no minus signs, and the degree of this is the sum of the exponents. So in this case, 2 plus 3 equals a fifth degree. All right. Polynomials is what we've been dealing with already, right? It's the sum of, or you could subtract, but the sum of a bunch of monomials. All right. The highest degree of the monomial term is whichever single monomial has the highest degree will define the polynomial's degree as well. The leading coefficient of the term with the greatest degree is what's in front. So if I had 3x fourth and maybe 3x squared plus x plus 1, my leading coefficient, when written in standard form by decreasing order 4, 2, 1, 0, would be my leading coefficient. So let's do one of these. All right. So this says, name the monomials. Well, that has one term, so it's a monomial. This has one term. There's no plus. I realize there's 3 variables, but that's a monomial. This has one term with no variables, so that's a monomial. And we did this so we can talk about the degrees. So the first one, well, there's only one variable there, so the degree is whatever that's exponent value is, and that's a degree of 3. This one, well, a's to the second, b's to the first, c's to the 12th. If I add those up, this is to the 15th degree. And 76 has no variable, so it's to the 0 degree. All right. Here is the polynomial. It's the one with more than one term. All right. We're going to identify it. Let's go ahead and write it in order. So my negative 5y cubed would go first, then my 3y squared, then my y, then my 10. All right, so we're going to identify it by everything that we see here. So we'll identify it by the term, the coefficient, and the degree. All right, so we'll say, looks like there's, we'll say first, second, third, and fourth. The coefficients go as follows. Well, that's negative 5, that's 3, that's 1, and that's 0. The degree of this is the third degree, right? Second degree, first degree, and the 0th degree. All right. So we can see all these, all right? And I'm going to go ahead and make one change on here. We'll say actually what term we're talking about. So instead of saying first term, second term, third term, let's be very specific here. So I'm going to say negative 5y cubed, positive 3y squared, y, and 10, and now we'll move on. So let's write it in standard form, which we already did. I wrote it up top in standard form. So in standard form, that is negative 5y cubed, positive 3y squared, plus y, and plus 10, with a leading coefficient of negative 5. Let me see how long this has been going right now. Looks like we're at 4 minutes, and I might as well finish this up. All right, I'm going to do a couple in each one. So adding polynomials is really just like adding all like terms. So I'm going to find my highest degree. This plus sign does nothing. I don't have to distribute. So really these parentheses don't stop me from combining any like terms. I see 5x to the fourth and 3x to the fourth. That gives me 8x to the fourth. I'm going to keep underlining these so I don't lose track of what I've done. I see x cubed, so I'm going to say minus x cubed. I see a 4x squared and a 6x squared. Those make 10x squared. I see a negative x, and I see a 1. And so we have that. I'm going to come here and do the same thing. I'm going to see, look, anything higher than x to the fourth? I don't think so, and it's just a plus sign, so it doesn't matter. 6x to the fourth and negative 7x to the fourth gives me negative x to the fourth. I see a cube here, negative 18x cubed and 2x cubed right there. Those add up to negative 16x cubed. I see a 10x and a 1x, which should give me 11x. I see a 5 and a negative 2 should give me 3. All right. I'm going to circle C because I don't have my highlighter in D, and I want you guys to try those. That's what you'll talk about in class. That is what I'll check when I look at the notes. All right, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to show you 2 with subtraction. Well, the first thing we're going to do is we've got to distribute that negative sign through, and then it's really just the same problem. So if I rewrite this, 12x cubed, 5x minus 8x squared plus 19, and I distribute negative 6x squared. Negative negative 9x is positive 9x. Negative negative 3 is negative 3. Negative negative 18x cubed is positive 18x cubed. And then we combine like normal. So we're just going to add like terms. I see a 12x cubed and an 18x cubed. What does that give me? 30x cubed if I add them together. I don't see any. So there's a negative 8x squared and a negative 6x squared, so that's negative 14x squared. 5x and 9x, just like terms. That gives me 14x, and 19 and negative 3 give me 16. And there it is. I'm going to put a little box around that saying I'm done. I'm going to come down here and do the same thing. I'm going to distribute. Negative 9, negative that is negative 2x cubed. Negative to there is negative 10x to the fifth. Let's rewrite this. Negative 4x squared plus 8x cubed plus 19 minus 5x to the fifth. So I see some fifths. I'm going to underline them. Negative 5x to the fifth, negative 10x to the fifth give me negative 15x to the fifth, and some motivation to buy new lead. I see cubes here. That's 8x cubed and negative 2x cubed. We'll say positive 6x cubed when we add those together. I see an x squared over here. We're just going to bring that in here. Negative 4x squared. I see positive 19 and negative 9, which gives me positive 10. So there is that right there. We've added, and now we have subtracted as well. I'm going to circle C and D. That's what you guys are going to talk about in class. And that's all the notes for 6.1. If you've done this, you're done. That is less than 10 minutes of notes, and I'm going to pause and post this up. I'll see you guys tomorrow.